Hello friends, welcome to this session on interview questions for Oracle Fusion HCM. This is one stop all for all the interview questions which you will be appearing in future for various interviews with IT firms as well as big four consulting firms. I am giving you the exact questions which were asked from me during these interviews, and also I am providing the answers for the same. So going forward, if you want to have more videos regarding the same, because I'll be covering various other modules like talent management and compensation. Apart from that, we are also planning to share videos for general HR interview questions. So please do like and share this video. And also, the most important thing, subscribe our channel. So friends, the very first question which is asked in any Oracle Fusion HCM interview question is about employment term, employment model, that is. So, employment models are basically of two types. It is two tier and three tier. In two tier, you have three types, and in three tier, again, you have four types. So, two tier model means single assignment with contract, and multiple assignments. Now, friends, as the name suggests, it is like single assignment and with contract or without contract. But what is the difference in two tier and three tier is about the employment terms. In two tier, you do not have the employment terms, whereas in three tier, you have employment terms. Two tier has two entities, assignment and work relationship. Three tier has three entities, work relationship, assignment, and work terms. Okay, friends? So this is very simple. In three tier, again, you have four types as I mentioned: single employment terms with single assignment, multiple employment terms with single assignment, single employment terms with multiple assignments, and multiple employment terms with multiple assignments. You can likewise give the definition as the name is suggesting for the same. So it's very simple. Again, next question is, which is frequently asked to me, is since always say that I have worked on implementation projects, as you also will be saying, friends, so it is about the core HR model which you implement. So I have basically implemented two-tier model itself. So I tell them about single assignment and also single assignment with contract, because this allows users to go for contractual terms without having to move to three-tier, which is very complicated model. And usually as consultants, we avoid suggesting that to our clients. Only when it is very much necessary to go for three-tier model, the organizations is supposed to go for that. Now, this next question is situation based question. It will give you an idea about how what kind of situations will be asked for you in the interviews. So the question is, a company which has most of the employee working from France for 3 days and from UK for 3 days. Now, which employment model will you use, friends? So I suggested multiple assignments. Two-tier model will be used. And how will the employee be paid in different currencies? Like you will be paid pounds in UK and euro in France. So friends, for this question you have to answer that it will be controlled at assignment level by the salary basis definition, because it is attached to the country specific LDG. LDG is, as you know, it is specific to the legal entity where the company is operating, legislative data group, that is. Okay, friends. Now, next question about the same is legal jurisdiction and legal authority difference. Jurisdiction is a physical territory, as you know, whereas a legal authority is a government or legal body that's charged with powers to make regulations and laws. Okay, friends. So that is a major difference. Now, you must be aware that for reporting purposes in Fusion, we have various logical divisions like divisions and business units. So, what's the difference? And what is the purpose of having division? A division is basically based on the physical and territory where the company has been registered. So, for reporting purposes, either you can segregate your organization based on divisions or based on business unit. Business unit, which is the logical segregation of your organization, as I mentioned earlier. Now, friends, what is a legal employer? Since you already know what a legal entity is, that is where the company is registered, a legal employer is which employs the people or workers. So that legal entity will be called as legal employer. Now, a legal employer has to have one payroll statutory unit. So if you don't attach a payroll statutory unit, you will not be able to pay the government regularized payroll taxes and social insurance. So you have to have PSU attached to a legal employer. That is very important. And that's where the next question comes. What will happen if you don't attach? You have to attach that, you have to say clearly. Okay. Now the next question is difference between job and position. As you know, jobs and position both cover the jobs and responsibilities of any worker or employee in the organization. The difference comes from how we are using this job or position. A job is not independent of the person who is occupying that role, whereas a position is independent of the person occupying that role. Also, another major difference comes from the fact that job can be defined globally in the common set. Now, when you are defining it in a common set, you can share the job codes across various business units which you will be defining for the organization, whereas a position is defined only within one specific business unit. So far, so good, friends. So, next we'll move to another question, which is also asked frequently, as I mentioned earlier, that is the different worker types you have in Oracle Fusion HCM. We have four worker types, friends: employee, contingent worker, pending worker, non worker. Employee is having work relationship of employee with the legal entity. So, anybody who is working on the payroll of the company will be employed. Contingent worker are contractual workers. Pending worker are the workers who are hired with a future effective date, and non-workers are not actually on the payroll of the company, but company still wants to maintain their records for tracking purpose. They can be person of interest like a trainer in an organization. Another question similar to this is, can pending worker be deleted? Yes, friends, pending workers can be deleted. Now, if a newly hired worker is absconding, how will you stop his payroll processing? As you know, the link between HR and payroll is element entries, and we have salary attached based on this element entry. So, if you delete the element entries for this particular person who is absconding, then automatically his payroll will stop processing. Now we come to question number 10. What are the various person management search options? We have two options, friend: basic and advanced. Basic basically covers very minimal options to search. Advanced is having maximum options to search for a person. And this is very important, friends, because security is driven based on this. I'll be taking another session on security, and I'll be defining how you are having public person security and person security profile, which controls your search or data on every page. Okay, so in advance you have various options like searching based on assignment status, person number, name, etc. Question number 11, as we see here, what is the difference between user person type and system person type? As the name suggests, system person types are predefined person types that the application uses to identify people. You can't change, delete, or create additional system person types. But what will you do if you want to have your client specific person types? So, Oracle provides that option as well. Each system person type contains a user person type that you can configure to your requirements. You can change, remove, or create additional user person types. Now, I'll give you an example for this. Person type is employee, whereas the client wants to call that employee as business partner. So, you can define a user person type specific to this system person type as business partner. So here comes another question, that is the difference between person number and worker number. So friends, you know every person in the organization is having a unique ID. So that ID is called a person number. And you can automatically and manually create this person number. It is required and valid in your enterprise. Allocation of worker numbers. can be either automatic or manual. Person number generation method can be interchanged anytime, whereas worker number generation method is restricted. You can always change from automatic to manual, but the reverse is not possible. We have to be careful while answering this question. Now, just to give you an idea, one of the questions which is asked is about the tasks for setting up compensation in core HR. Since you have to ultimately pay your employees, and HCM is always, most of the times, attached to compensation, so you should know this answer. You have to define the base salary, salary basis, as I mentioned in one of the previous questions, that currency is defined at salary basis level. You have to define your plans. You have to define the compensation history and total compensation statement, that is basically your payslip. So, friends, this interview gives you an idea of which tasks to focus, which books to read, and which topics are most important to prepare for your core HR interviews. So, please do subscribe our channel and like and share this video because it is going to benefit a lot to you. Thank you all. Bye bye.